welcome to Wani. This is your host Vitek, and with us today we have Matthew Greywolf and Fox Schlegel of Powerwolf. How are you doing, guys?
Well, fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
Just a few weeks are left for the release of your highly anticipated album, Blessed and Possessed. Excited, nervous? What's happening in the camp?
Well, excited, of course. I mean, it's always exciting to get the first reactions to an album, and well, but most of all, we're looking forward to finally having the album out and finally be back on stages again, because we have taken a live break of more than 9 months to write and produce Blessed and Possessed, and well, since we're really obsessed with playing live, we're really looking forward that the festival season is now starting, and so yeah, very exciting days.
Awesome. Now, there's already tons of hype and excitement around the world for the new album. You guys have also sold out that special edition pre-order as well, and a new video, Army of the Night, came out. So another visually stunning video from you guys. Tying in the album title, is the sister in the video slowly becoming possessed?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's what's going on in the video. And, well, yeah, of course, this relates to the album title, Blessed and Possessed. But I think the ones who are most possessed are we ourselves.
Right.
Because the possessed refers to the possession for heavy metal. It's like the title refers to something we do on stage frequently, which is when Falk Maria is asking the audience, are you possessed by heavy metal? And I wanted to transfer this to the album because, well, if you take a closer look, this possession for heavy metal is what unites both the band and the fans.
Right.
Because everybody heavy metal scene, it's more than just listening to heavy metal music. It's, you know, you are a metalhead, you are possessed by this kind of music. So we wanted to express this with the album title.
That's awesome. I had this honor of listening to the album, and my mate Mattie Jensen has been following you right from the beginning, and we just love this stunning piece of music in terms of orchestration, production, composition, everything. It's amazing to hear how much the band has grown since the days of Lupus Dei or even Return in Blood Red.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a development you can see. And but I think the development was a very natural one. If you listen to all of the albums in a row, you will see that there have always been, like, let's say, small steps from album to album. We are not a band which kind of breaks with what they did before. It's rather that we have kind of established and developed our trademark sound over the years. And I think in the meantime, there is something like a very typical Powerwolf sound. A lot of people tell us it's like, if you listen to a new song for 10 seconds, you know this is Powerwolf. And,
right.
Well, it's something we have achieved over the years by a sort of natural process, I would say.
That's cool, and it's got a different feel. I mean, the entire album compared to your previous, it's got a different feel, especially in the march-like tempos or even vocal patterns. Like in the single Army of the Night, it has that catchy and an up-tempo beat, even though it's so dark. Did anything change in the songwriting process, or is it something which came out naturally for you guys?
Oh, the latter, definitely. We're not a band that takes conscious decisions during the songwriting. We never make any plans on what to develop and where to develop to. It's just like writing songs is a very natural and well, organic process, and you just can't put that into directions. For example, it was like Army of the Night that you mentioned. It was a song that was quite a spontaneous idea that just had a lot of energy and a very good live feel for the first time we played it. So it was very clear that this song would be a song on the album, definitely. But, you know, while you're writing this album, you just don't think about that consciously. It's rather that when writing an album, you just got to shut down everything which is not connected with the actual process of creating music.
Okay. That sounds cool. I mean, in terms of writing more stories or historical, for example, you have Christ in Combat, which has a sort of educational and an historical storyline that's driven, in such a heavy metal manner. I mean, Attila's vocals as well. The history of church is pretty interesting and fits well with your style of music when we talk about the organs and Attila's voice as well. So on this album, can fans expect more stories and historical references about, let's say, Roman Catholic Church has been through?
Oh, well, the most historically connected one is the one you have already mentioned, Christ in Combat, which describes the actual act of war during the Crusades.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, all of the songs more or less relate to, biblical stories or religious aspects, but not all of them in a historic context. There's also songs which rather touch the philosophical point of view, like, for example, Sacramental Sister, which is a very a short story about a nun being torn between what the title Blessed and Possessed refers
Mm-hmm.
to. It's like torn between a pious life and sexual desire. So, topics like these are obviously not historically based, but it is somewhere in the field of religion and religious history. Definitely.
Right. Absolutely true. Now, for you as a musician and the founding member, what sort of approach did you took on this album in terms of the guitar tone, especially?
Well, I wanted to have a sound that sounds musically. Nowadays it's like productions, especially for the guitar sound, are like let's go for a more extreme, for a louder sound and everything, very compressed everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this time we wanted to take another approach, and I told all the engineers involved, be it Fredrik Nordström or be it Jens Bogren, I told them I want the music to sound fresh. It was not our concern to make the fattest production or the loudest production. It was just like, here's the songs, there's a lot of musicality going on in the songs, just make all of it visible. And I think they succeeded quite good. I mean, for example, the guitars, they got a lot of tone. They got a little less distortion than we used in the past, but they have more tone, and the tone makes it sound much more massive in a way.
Absolutely. That sounds really cool. Now, I saw in a recent post that the main goal of this album was to play it live, was to unleash it live. So if this question hasn't been asked a million times before, have you guys ever made any plan with this album to come to United States? Because you've got crazy fan base there.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about definite plans yet, but we are aware that in the past we have focused way too much on Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely are more than willing to extend our touring territories, and I really hope that with Blessed and Possessed we will make it over the Atlantic.
That's awesome, because it's a big country, but has Powerwolf ever considered touring US with bands like Sabaton, since they're in your realm of music and they consistently play a lot of shows there? Or maybe you guys can appear at country's best power and progressive metal festival, Prog Power.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, so I think this is going to happen sometime in the future, definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. It's going to be a treat for all the fans to catch you guys. Definitely for my mate, Mattie. She's been like, I'm wondering why these guys... In fact, you won't believe it. She was planning to travel all the way from Denver to Germany just to see you guys live.
Oh, that's nice. A very good plan. She should do so, definitely.
It's just that, things just didn't work out. And she was telling me continuously that you're going to have a chat with the folks. Just tell them that the day you guys come to States, to any part of the States, I am definitely going to go there.
All right.
Cool. So aside from States, what other tours and festivals have you guys planned? Even though it's a little early and the festival season has already started. So any such plans?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of festival appearances scheduled this summer, and right when the festival season is over, in early September, the Wolfsnächte tour will start, which is, well, the first European tour we will do for this album.
Mm-hmm.
And well, after that, there will be several tours coming up. But these are tours I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Mm-hmm.
But what's for sure is that we will definitely extend our live schedule.
Oh, that's cool. So that brings me to the question. You guys ever thought of having a solid fan base here in India?
Oh, nice.
No, actually not, but
Okay.
great to hear.
Yeah, actually, I'm from India. You guys are talking to me now. So when I was given this opportunity, because when we talk about power metal, none of the bands have come here. None of the bands. So it's really going to be an honor if you guys come and play for your fans here. Definitely, you don't have, thousands and thousands of fans, but it's growing. It's growing here. So
Right, that's
it'll
great to
definitely be
hear.
a treat.
That's great to hear. And there is something we like a lot about being in a band, and that's traveling and going to countries we haven't gone before. So, well, if one day this will happen, I think it will be something very great, definitely.
That's awesome. Now, before I conclude the interview, for all the fans patiently waiting out there, if you had to describe Blessed and Possessed in just one sentence, what would you guys say?
I'm still thinking, sorry.
You can take your time. I mean, you guys can do it together. You're a team.
Yeah, but this is a sentence that's not going to stop, and the grammar would be wrong. So, I will tell people it's a very fresh approach to what power metal is. So give it a listen and get possessed by Powerwolf.
Wow, that was expected because the word possessed in the album can relate to many things. Like you said, we are possessed with heavy metal as well. So that's cool. Folks, thank you very much. Had an honor of having a chat. Guys, the new album is coming out July 17th when Napalm. Go ahead, pre-order it. And when the album is out, buy it. See them live on the European tour and have fun.
All right, you're welcome.